Hello, today we will discuss about Microsoft Fabric and you are watching the data channel. And today in this introductory video of Microsoft Fabric, we will discuss what exactly the Fabric and definitely in this playlist of videos so that we will bring a series of videos that talks about Microsoft Fabric and how exactly practically it can be used. So this is just an introductory video and definitely you can expect more videos in this playlist and if you are new to this channel we would recommend you to please subscribe and also press bell button for instant notifications. So let's get started. So you might be wondering what is Microsoft Fabric. Like if you have already heard about it, you might be knowing basics of it, and if you are already working as a data engineer, a data scientist, or data analyst, right? So you definitely might have heard about this, one of the new concept of Microsoft, and you might be wondering how the things will change, especially from your role. If you are already working professional, so whether the Microsoft Fabric will it have any impact on the ways of working because it is a platform level change. So we need to understand what exactly is changing and definitely need to upscale ourselves to understand these concepts in detail so that definitely it will be a cutting edge for whatever the projects you work in. But because Microsoft Fabric will penetrate into market because most of the organization already started doing few of the pilot projects or POC projects already using Microsoft Fabric. So because it's making the life easy, so we will see how it is making the life easy for from different perspectives. But since it is having a few of the advantages that different users or different developers can have, so this will come in the this will soon come into the real-time projects, and many of the organizations will start quickly implementing this. So, as I said, right, you might be coming from the data engineering background, data analyst background, data scientist, or especially the Power BI, who's a visualization engineer, right? So there might be few things here and there will change, but the end of the day, the core technology remains the same. But what exactly will change and how exactly it benefits is what we are going to discuss in this video. Yes, as I said, definitely it is important. This concept, if you are in any of these streams, visualization engineer, data engineer, analyst, or scientist, data scientist, or you're working anything in artificial intelligence or anything with the data, especially in the Microsoft Azure stack, and you're working in the data domain, definitely you need to know about the Microsoft Fabric here. And like that is where this video is intended for, right? And what exactly the Microsoft Fabric, right? So Microsoft Fabric, we will understand in detail, but before Microsoft Fabric, how exactly the data engineering, Azure data engineering tech stack was looking like, right? So if you are familiar with data engineering or any data projects, so in Azure, so there will be data ingestions or orchestration, what we can call, where there's one and two steps, and you have a Databricks transformations, so where you exactly the perform data transformation, complex data transformation using Spark, PySpark, and all, and then you maintain different layers of data like maybe you can call it as a raw layer or bronze layer, and then followed by silver and gold layer, so which is having a storage like ADLS and Delta Lake and all those things. And finally, if you want to do a Power BI, right, you want to do a reporting using Power BI, so you need to have a SQL analytics enabled, or you need to have a Synapse analytics enabled, right? And you can perform the machine learning algorithm using this data where it is getting stored, right? And also you have other monitor and govern aspects where exactly the different components were there. So this is actually the before Microsoft Fabric world, right? We're talking about. The problem here is so what Microsoft Fabric as a concept is trying to solve is it is just removing the unnecessary integration patterns and the duplication of the data, and they want to keep everything in one place, keep the data clean and in one place. So as you can see, the in this architecture or in this data flow, so you can see there is a multiple hops, what we can call, right, before the data gets transformed and reported to business users. So data is coming here as a bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer, which is a data lake. So this is here is there is one or two hops, right, where the orchestration is taking place. Then the data need to be pushed to Azure Synapse Analytics or SQL Data Warehouse, or it can be pushed to a SQL Analytics. And if there is a streaming involved, it has to be pushed to different kind of intermediate storages, right? Like maybe a service bus you can use, or CosmosDB, right? So where the real-time streaming data can be pushed, right? And even streaming real-time streaming data can be pushed to Synapse Analytics as well. And so as you can see here, the data is getting duplicated because you ingest the data from target source system to data lake here. And for some analysis, like say for example you want to archive the data, you will push it to a blob storage, right? There one more copy is stored, right? So here there is one copy, right? And if you want to archive the data, right, and this is first copy, and if you want to archive the data, you might be push it to a blob storage. So there is one more copy of data, right? So this we can call it as a second copy, right? And where if you want to have a API kind of integration, there you might use Cosmos DB, right? So there you might have a third layer of data, and where you want to report it to a Power BI, right? So there the data need to be available, right, in a Synapse Analytics. So here you are making a fourth copy of data, and if you are performing a SQL Databricks kind of a storage, like any kind of analytics here, you might use DBFS, right? So DBFS as a file system, it's again one more kind of storage layer. So here the data might be again copied to another layer, right? So you can closely keep an eye like how many times the data is getting replicated. Yeah, definitely it might be fine tuned, or it might be a might be a some level of transformation is going on, but still the data is getting duplicated. And also the hops, the number of hops you see, right? So there are multiple hops here, which might create a delay in data transformation and processing. And also you can think of like enabling this project, right? You need to have a different you need to create a data factory here, you need to create a data lake here, you need to create a delta lake with the data bricks, right? You need to create a Cosmos DB, you need to create a Synapse Analytics. So you can think of it, right? First thing is you are basically creating the multiple sources, okay, as a data engineer or as a data person. So you are creating the multiple resources, and you need to take care of all the cost and all the security aspects here by yourself whenever you create any resource here. And also the data is getting duplicated, and once the project is developed, it is undergoing multiple level of hops. And so this problem basically what Microsoft is trying to solve here using this architecture, what we call as a Microsoft Fabric. So Microsoft Fabric, what they're doing is they are not introducing any new technology as such, which is like data engineering, or they are not bringing any machine learning completely new tech stack here. So what they are doing is, as you can see, all these are existing components. So Synapse is an existing component, Data Factory is an existing component, right? And Power BI is existing component, and even Custo is an existing component. So what changes here, as you can closely observe, is this one, which is a data lake. They are changing it as a one lake. So one lake is a one-stop. I mean, it's a solution for all the data storage. So what they are doing is, so previously you are actually worrying about where your data is getting stored, right? In whether it is stored in data lake, whether it is in blob, whether it is in Cosmos DB, Synapse. So now you are not worrying about all those things. So your data is just stored in one lake. So you're not bothered about where exactly the data is getting it goes and stores, right? So what is the concept of one lake? So the concept of one lake here is only one copy is used across all the stream of works. Basically, whether you are a data engineer who is orchestrating the data, you will use the same data, right? And if you are a data scientist, you are using the same copy of data, right? And if you are a Power BI person who is doing a visualization, you will use the same data. If you are working on a real-time projects, you will use the same data. Basically, and all the people who are working as a team, right, who will be using a single copy of data here. So the data is not getting a kind of a duplicated or kind of a transformed from one place to another place, creating the duplications and the it might create a lot of copy of the data, right? So that is exactly is what one lake is trying to solve using the Microsoft Fabric architecture here. But if you actually technically see what is one lake is, it is nothing but a Parquet kind of format, like a Delta format. So what exactly they use, and it is built on the Delta format. Like one lake is nothing but it is actually the technology of storage which is built on the Parquet format. And if you are aware of what is Parquet format, it actually brings up the good performance, and it also stores the optimized data in the compressed format. So that is one advantage of it. And like what challenges that we are trying to solve here, right? So definitely there is a different wiring between these systems, right? As you can see, there is different wirings, like here from here to here and here to here and here to here. So there is a lot of wiring between the datas. And if you think about complex projects, you can think about how many hops the data might go and how many wiring of the things might be required, right? So that is getting solved here. And also as a Power BI, right, as a Power BI expert or as a visualization expert, you will have a simpler interface where you can directly connect to one lake. So here you need not contact like data engineers or data scientists to give the data in the required format. You just have the data in one lake and you can start visualization from the day one, as day one itself. And also like if you are working, so now I can do notebook, Power BI, machine learning, etc. So the main thing is we didn't move any data here. We are not moving any data. So and you can also use the existing data which is already there in AWS, right? So there might be, so you might be thinking that okay, to do this project, should I bring all the data to one lake? No. So you can already might be having the data in ADLS, right? You might be having data in Azure, any kind of storage like Blob, and you might be having data in S3, right? Amazon AWS S3, and you might have data in GCS as well. So basically in the Google Cloud Platform, right? GCP. So in this case also you can basically get the data connected to these kind of sources, and you can start using this data directly in your project. So now let's quickly jump to the Microsoft documentation and see what Microsoft has to say with respect to the definition of Microsoft Fabric. So how they define is an all-in-one analytics solution for enterprises that covers everything from data movement to data science, real-time analytics, and business intelligence. And it offers the comprehensive suite services including data lake, data engineering, data integration, all in one place, right? And what exactly the Microsoft Fabric is doing is we don't need to piece together different services here from the multiple vendors. Like we don't need to buy the create a Azure data lake storage like blob storage and data breaks and all those things. So everything is integrated one in one place, and from the day one you can start working or using all these services, right? Instead you can enjoy the highly integrated end-to-end and easy to use product that is designed to simplify your analytics needs. The platform is built on the foundation of SaaS because it's a software as a service, right? And so this is they have explained what are the different components like data engineering, data factory, data science, warehouse, analytics, Power BI. All this will come in one umbrella. So and also they have explained one lake as a concept here, which is built on the on top of the ADLS Gen 2. So in the upcoming videos, definitely we will discuss in detail about all these concepts. So as part of this introductory video, so we would recommend you to please go to the Microsoft documentation as well and check the introduction about what is Microsoft Fabric, what they are about to say on this. And finally, we will go to the last slide where we will understand what exactly the Microsoft Fabric how exactly the Microsoft makes the things easy for like whoever you are like in the data space, right? Definitely it will be increased efficiency. How do we say that? So because it enables smaller workforces to complete work that typically requires a larger data team. Basically, you take in a project, you need a data engineer, data analyst, machine learning AI expert, data scientist, and visualization expert. So here, since everyone are using one platform, so definitely all are speaking in a similar language here, right? So that will be a collaborative kind of environment. What it creates, so it can help people to work seamlessly across the different departments and the different related projects, so they can share the data very easily and quickly, so they need not wait for the or depend on the different projects, so which can cause the delays. And also the data governance and the compliance, which is a very important and critical topics nowadays the industries are looking for, because since if the data is dispersed of the if the data is kind of spread across different places and in multiple chunks of multiple copies, right? So what happens is governing the data and whether and the compliance around it and securing the data, it will become a really challenging task for any organization. So since all the data is in one place, that we call it as a one lake, so it simplifies the risk of it simplifies the mitigation of risk basically, since it is one place the data is maintained, and so it ensures the data is protected and compliant with the relevant regulations with the security and governance framework here. And also definitely the cost and scalability aspect, right? Since like uh, optimize the cloud spending through scalability and efficient infrastructure. Basically, it eliminates the costly large-scale data warehouse and reduce the integrations and duplications and movement across the different kind of streams of projects, right? And also, when you're talking about data is closer to users and AI, so now AI will be the future, right? So when you talk about AI will be the future, there is a Microsoft Fabric is also having something called as Copilot, which will read the data or which is closely integrated with the data in the one lake, and it can help create analytical kind of use cases, especially like generative analytics use cases, and you can seamlessly work. It will generate a SQL kind of a programming language in an automated manner, and it can suggest you the auto generated codes. If you are a Power BI developer, you might be a SQL developer, right? And you might be any kind of a programming language, right? It will help you the as a Microsoft Copilot. It will definitely help you make your developers' life easy by suggesting the different kind of helpful kind of suggestions. So which is mostly the generative AI, what we call, right? And with all these things, the time to market will come down, because the Microsoft Fabric, when you talk about the project, right? So if you want to build a project here, in this case, you need to build lot of many components, bring onboard lot of teams, and establish the communication between the teams, provision the access between all of these teams. How do they share the data and all those things, right? But when it comes to the Microsoft Fabric world, if you want to onboard any project, data project, it is just simple, right? You just need to onboard the data in one lake, and all the teams can start using the same copy of the data from the day one. So that will, I mean, bring down the time to market basically, which will uh, which will help. End of the day, it will help the business. So, and as I said, AI is a it'll Gen AI is a copilot is integrated into every Microsoft Fabric data experiences, and users can utilize conversational language basically to improve their coding efficiencies. Finally, as you can see, the Microsoft Fabric is actually the main components are the seven components here. This is Synapse Data Engineering, Synapse Data Warehouse, Data Factory, Data Science, Synapse real-time analytics, Power BI, and One Lake. So these are the seven most important topics, and definitely we will bring in detail videos about all of these topics in this playlist in the upcoming videos. And I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.